Hello.
How's it going?
Great.
Good, good. Let's get your name and what you do.
I'm Seamus Nally, and I'm a landlord.
My name is Harrison Stevens, and I'm a landlord.
My name is Sarah Capra, and I'm a landlord.
There's two large stereotypes out there about landlords. The first is around the corporate landlords. They're all these big investment firms that are swooping in, they're purchasing properties right out from under primary home buyers, right? And the other side is the predatory slumlord idea from the landlord perspective, which is it's these individuals out there that don't really care about their tenants, they don't upkeep the property, and they're really trying to extract every little bit of value or resource or money that they can outside their tenants with putting in absolutely minimal work. In general, the landlords that we serve are much more everyday people. In fact, 1 out of 14 taxpayers in the US is a landlord. And so what that means is you're standing in line at the coffee shop, there's a greater chance the person in front of you is a landlord than a redhead.
At one point or another in most of our lives, we are renters, and so we want to provide the best experience that we can because we always wanted that same experience.
So TurboTenant is a platform used by over 700,000 landlords across the United States. And our mission is very simple: make it easier as a landlord for you to manage the property yourself. Everything from marketing your property to filling that property, screening a tenant, making sure that you got the right tenant in your property, leasing, and then the largest part of your relationship, which is your residency, facilitating rent payments and maintenance requests. And so we've tried to build the platform to not only do that, but also layer in education so that landlords understand each step that they're taking along the journey and can do so with less friction. If there's less friction for the landlord, there's also less friction for that tenant as well.
I describe TurboTenant to fellow landlords as a godsend. And I know that's a little much, but literally they have helped me be organized, and I really appreciate it.
With one click, you literally launch your rental into the world.
I love getting on the webinars and communicating with fellow landlords, fellow real estate investors.
I think a big part of the rental market, and even my own experience as a renter, is inconsistency with different landlords. And by providing consistent opportunities to educate landlords through how they build a lease, how they collect rent, and then educating them through what we call residency once a tenant has actually moved in, is just a better experience for tenants. I've had a tenant reach out to me for months on a platform that I didn't use. And then after they moved out, I discovered all these conversations and was really disappointed. These were things that I could have solved for them in a day, and they waited 2 months to just call me. If I was using TurboTenant at the time, would have been so much clearer of your lease was done on TurboTenant, your application was done on TurboTenant, your background check was done on TurboTenant, all of your documents are stored on TurboTenant. Of course, all your communications will happen on TurboTenant. The all-in-one aspect of the product is better for everybody.
Our app streamlined the most important and otherwise arduous parts of the process for landlords and managing their rentals, both in terms of vacancy and residency. So if a landlord is trying to set up a listing to host on different sites, when they're going through the process of setting up their listing, we have an AI tool that very quickly generates a description for their property, and with one click of a button, that listing will go out on a variety of different listing sites. They can also message tenants within the app, track expenses or rent payments all in one centralized location. Another way that TurboTenant helps to transform the rental management process for landlords is by distilling down and seamlessly integrating what are often unknown unknowns or variables for landlords. I'm specifically speaking within the context of compliance. So state, city, county laws, when they come to TurboTenant and they want to create a lease agreement specific to each of those states, once we know that information, which they can easily select within our software, then we automatically incorporate that and inform them of the laws that are relevant to them.
And the ways in which we've already woven AI through it, helping with the custom questions to stay within fair housing compliance, helping with that lease agreement to make sure that you're not putting anything in there that violates local laws. We're very excited to weave that into the other aspects of the landlord journey. So a really simple but impactful example is a very common maintenance request a landlord might get from a tenant, and I've gotten this myself, right, is the toilet won't flush. One of the ways in which AI is going to start playing a really active role in that within the TurboTenant platform is we can actually send back, utilizing AI, the first couple steps to triage that issue for the tenant, right? And so we can ask them a couple of questions, give them a couple things to check themselves, and 9 out of 10 times, it's actually going to resolve the problem. Let's say it doesn't solve the problem and the landlord has to do something. They've now gathered more information from that tenant about what kind of service provider they need to get. And so that's a very small interaction, but it's where a lot of the friction happens in the tenant and landlord relationship. But we can actually take the landlord out of the line of fire altogether and provide solutions immediately.
Landlords are not just looking for more time, they're looking for peace of mind. And anything that they don't have to think about that can be automated gives them that. So for example, automatic reminders about routine maintenance for appliances, or an app that generates a one-time temporary passcode to enable someone else to show prospective tenants around a property when a landlord isn't able to do that. What's equally important in this era of prop tech and different options is choosing the right combination of technology. And when that happens, it really has the power to improve quality of life for both landlords and tenants.
Sometimes there are problems that can't be solved with technology, and that's where education really becomes a passion project for our company. There's so many topics out there that are really complicated, and we want to make sure that we can arm landlords with as much information as possible. And the best way to do that is with education. And if it's free, more landlords will use it and be better landlords for their tenants.
You know, anything I need them to sign, I do it right in the app, and it takes care of everything. It's perfect.
And just the technology they offer, especially in regards to receiving tenant payments.
I can't say enough good about them.
The reality is real estate is the third largest asset within the United States, right? So I think it's super important that individuals are able to participate in that and not just companies and corporations. So what we're trying to do here at TurboTenant by making it easier for individuals to self-manage and build a successful rental company is really lower the barrier for them to participate in this asset class.
Anyone who's purchased a home in the past can relate and understand what a sometimes long and difficult and emotional process that can be. And so providing a place where people can come back to every day and feel like there's just peace and comfort there, and an interim place where they can come back to until they find their forever home, that feels really good.